We're privileged this morning to hear from the recipients of the Algernon Sydney Sullivan Medallion, who were selected by the faculty. This is one of the highest awards at the university. Washington and Lee presents the Algernon Sydney Sullivan Award to the undergraduate senior man and woman who exhibit Sullivan's qualities by excelling, quote, in high ideals of living, in fine spiritual qualities, and in generous and disinterested service to others. When the institution makes the student award, it appoints the recipient as its representative to bear its standard before the world. Earlier today, I had the pleasure of presenting this year's Algernon Sydney Sullivan medallions to MaKayla Lorick and Jackson Roberts. MaKayla from Clinton, Maryland, is an English major and a creative writing minor who's taken full advantage of the many varied opportunities that have been available to her at W&L. She's been an intern with the literary magazine Shenandoah, a summer research scholar with history professor Ted Delaney, and a digital humanities fellow. Since last summer, MaKayla's been working on a project funded by the Associated Colleges of the South in collaboration with Centre College, Furman University, and Rollins College. The project's goal is to create a shared online digital archive relating to the history of desegregation at the collaborating institutions. MaKayla's collected oral histories from African American alumni, faculty, and staff who were here at Washington and Lee in the mid-60s when the university integrated, and has also developed a website where her interviews and other materials help tell the story about that period of our history. MaKayla served as a member of the search committee for the dean of the college and was among students who helped evaluate candidates for the director of inclusion and engagement. She served as president of both the Student Association for Black Unity and the Tau Zeta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She's been a member of the Working Group on the History of African Americans at W&L. MaKayla won the Emerging Leader of the Year Award in 2016, the John M. Evans English Scholarship in 2017, and the Alexander Thomas Bowling Class of 2010 Memorial Award that honors seniors for their campus leadership. MaKayla will complete her degree requirements in December and intends to pursue a PhD in English. I would be remiss if I didn't add that MaKayla's daughter Zara may be as well known on campus as MaKayla. Jackson from Kansas City, Missouri, chose to pursue two majors, neuroscience and anthropology, that have allowed him to examine who we are as a species from different angles. Jackson has worked in biology professor Natalia Toporokova's research laboratory, performing experiments in reproduction and obesity since his first year. He also served as a LivSay research fellow during the summer of 2018 when he constructed a rodent model of diet-induced obesity and infertility. A poverty studies minor, Jackson had 2 summer internships with the Shepherd program. One was at a nonprofit health clinic in Quito, Ecuador, and the other involved promoting cross-cultural exchange at a local high school in Puerto Morales, Mexico. He's been a volunteer venture leader for the service trip to Richmond, has participated in the Red Cross Club, including a term as its president, and has been a member of the Student Health Committee. Since 2015, Jackson has been on the Youth Advisory Board for Plan International USA, an independent development and humanitarian organization that advances children's rights and equality for girls. Jackson has served as scholarship chair and vice president of his fraternity, Pi Kappa Phi. Based on his previous experiences and academic background, Jackson has developed a particular interest in the healthcare experiences of indigenous groups in the Andean region of South America. He plans to pursue a medical degree in order to pursue a career in medicine focused on public health outreach for vulnerable populations. I now call upon MaKayla and Jackson to present readings that each of them has chosen to help us celebrate this occasion.
Good morning. The selection that I'm reading today is one of my favorite books. I Like Myself by Karen Beaumont. And though it isn't a canonical work, it's held with esteem by my 2-year-old daughter, who has memorized the words and finishes every other line when I read it to her in the evenings. Book. I like myself. I'm glad I'm me. There's no one else I'd rather be. I like my eyes, my ears, my nose. I like my fingers and my toes. I like me wild, I like me tame. I like me different and the same. I like me fast, I like me slow. I like me everywhere I go. I like me on the inside too, for all I think and say and do. Inside, outside, upside down, from head to toe and all around, I like it all. It all is me, and me is all I want to be. And I don't care in any way what someone else may think or say. I may be called a silly nut or crazy cuckoo bird. So what? I'm having too much fun, you see, for anything to bother me. Even when I look a mess, I still don't like me any less. 'Cause nothing in this world, you know, can change what's deep inside. And so, no matter if they stop and stare, no person, ever, anywhere, can make me feel that what they see is all there really is to me. I still like me with fleas or warts or with a silly snout that snorts, or knobby knees or hippo hips or purple polka-dotted lips, or beaver breath or stinky toes or horns protruding from my nose, or yikes with spikes all down my spine, or hair that's like a porcupine. I still would be the same, you see. I like myself because I'm me. Though the language in this book at first glance appears simple, I've found that repeating the words as a nighttime ritual has invoked a sentiment that I'd believed to be long gone. Especially today, I thought it difficult to think of a universal passage because many of our journeys are so incredibly and beautifully different. Yet I believe that if we take this piece of magic and restore a childlike faith in ourselves, this belief will be enough to make it through even when others challenge our identities. Thank you.
Good morning. We are at a point of transition where it can seem that we're overwhelmingly defined and described by what we do rather than who we are as individuals. I have chosen the following excerpt from the invitation by Oriah Mountain Dreamer to recenter that focus today. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you'll risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you've touched the center of your own sorrow, if you've been opened by life's betrayals, or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own, if you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tips of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you're telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself, if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul. I want to know if you can see beauty, even when it's not pretty, every day, and if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand on the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you have studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. Thank you.